out ahead of us, but we're gonna turn that cassette to match his arm. Sorry, Steve. Okay? On our notches, we want his elbow right in the center of that, so we're gonna come forward just a little bit, okay? Does that make sense? We're gonna kind of eyeball that he's right in the center. Excuse me. We have a thick pad here, so we wanna take our image receptor up here, because this is for tabletop, and then we have a thick pad, so we kinda have to compensate for it in this room. All right, let's go over here. We do get stuck at the end of the world over here sometimes, so if we get stuck, we'll have to just move it. Okay, line that up. Stuck in our detent. All right, right there, we're super close. If you're off by a millimeter, I'm okay with that. Good. I just need an inch on each side, and then a couple inches beyond. Good, my marker goes right here. Now, there's his elbow. See how it's flat? Now watch what happens when I make him oblique. We're going to turn him like that. See how we get a nice 45 degree now? That's what we're looking for, is that 45 degree separation. Move that under him so we have him still in the center. And then I'm going to adjust this so it goes to the center of my IR. Okay, does that make sense? Come and look at it. I want you to see that obliquity. So that, and I'll do this with you. I'll put that on there so you can see that obliquity. Okay, relax. For just, oh no, there you go. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the body part. There's the center. Does that make sense? If you're this way, here's the body part. There's the center. Okay. So we want to roll him out and get right in the center of that. Does that make sense? Everybody's going to be different because some people are going to have little chunky arms and you're going to be a little wider, but that's how you find that middle part. Relax for a second. Now let's look at this little humorous, funny thing over here. Okay. When your elbow is AP, do you see how the proximal end is a little bit superimposed? When you turn it out like that, it opens that space. Okay, you turn it out, it opens the space in between. That's what we're looking at. We want to separate that out so we can see that radial head, not at all superimposed with the ulna. Does that make sense? When you turn it over this way, do you see this part right here? How that is now sticking out right there? It's hard to see there. That's what they're looking at for an internal oblique. It's not done often because it's just a rarer place to break. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we want to do that external oblique, turn that out and separate that out. Okay? All right, let's look in the book real quick and I'll show you a couple of images so you see that. Okay, so here's the AP where it's slightly superimposed. See? Right there? Okay, so when you open that out, see how it separates it out like that? Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking for. We want to see that separated so we can really isolate that radial head. There's that internal oblique, and see how you can see that coronoid process sticking out? We don't do that one very often, but if they're ever concerned about anterior elbow pain there, rather than like over here, if they're looking more over here, then you can add that in. I mean, it's not wrong. It's just we don't do it very often. Okay, make sense? Okay, and then I'm going to show you the coil method here in just 1 second. I'll find it again. All right. This is how patient sits, and I'll show you that in a second. And this is what we're looking for, is this separation right here. Okay? So look at our lateral elbow. Okay, so our lateral elbow is just like our lateral forearm. Again, we want the arm all the way down to the table. Scoot really forward. There you go. Because I'm going to be at the end of the world over there.
There you go.
All right, good. I want this part right here in the middle of my cassette. Okay, right there. Bring his arm forward so he's nice and square. Okay, let me get this in. Yes, you can just line up your cassette. There's the bump. That's the one I'm going for. Come forward. Good. And there's his bump. And then I still want a thumbs up, okay? Because I still want that arm as lateral as possible. Okay, we have a little space here, so we have a nice little square of space there. So look at that. And then we have some space behind because we don't want to cut off those fat pads, right? We want to make sure we get all the tissue. We're not as worried about the space here. As long as we have it here and here, we're good. If we have a little extra here, we're okay. Okay, that's our lateral. Now, coil method. We're gonna have him relax because now he's tired of giving us a thumbs up. He's like, I'm done with that. We're gonna take this, move it over here and down. We're gonna adjust to a 45-degree rotation. Now, if I shine this, it's gonna come here. Be really careful not to shine him in the face or I will sing Blinded by the Light to you, okay? Be forewarned, okay? So, now what we're gonna try and do is line this up and this, so we're gonna back it up a little bit, and then I gotta check my distance, okay? See how I did?
Oh shoot, I had
I'm
one
at
of those.
38. So I'm a little short, so I need to go out and up because of Pythagorean. Okay? So out and up until I get at least 40. And there's 40 and a half. I'm good there. Okay? Now see how we're centered here and here. Right there, just on the inside of that epicondyle is a little indent. That's where I'm shooting for. Okay? So I'm gonna put him right there. Okay, he's still relaxed. See my collimation here and here? Be really careful it does not get off of the image receptor here. We still want at least an inch on either side, but now I'm going to close this down here, but I still want to leave a little there. Some people, you're not going to be able to see it. It's going to be like right there, okay? As long as you're not off there and you're not off here and you're centered there and you've got at least an inch behind, you're good to go. Okay, make sense? Good, all right. Excellent, let's go do the humerus. Perpendicular.
I just wanna know
Make
where
sure
it's at.
you detent. Okay, make sure that you get that detented transversely, your light comes on. Without that detent, then you're not gonna be lined up to your bucky. Bring it over here to 40 inches. All right, and I know I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Okay, so put him here. Yes, please, now that we can. We had to all have coats on in here earlier. It was so cold. Okay, what I'm looking for now is I need to get halfway between here and here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of eyeball or measure right there. So I know this is the level I need for him. So I'm gonna have him put the back of his arm against the board, turn a little bit, and a little bit away from me. There we go, right there. So I want this level. So now I'm gonna put the bucky at the level of his arm in the middle, right about there. It's not exact. I don't expect you to get a measuring tape out and measure it, but kind of guesstimate. Then I'm gonna bring this down to about level, line it up, make sure I'm straight, good. Now, I want him to turn his arm out this way a little bit and down. I'm gonna feel very gently where his epicondyles are because I want them perpendicular to the board. Everybody's gonna be different. Some people are gonna have to go way out. Some are gonna have their arm almost turned in. It all depends on your patient. So gently feel the epicondyles that they are parallel to the board, okay? And then he can relax right there. There we go. And then I'm going to turn my light on. I'm going to turn this the direction of his arm and then slide him over so that's right in the middle of his arm. See that? Okay. Now I'm going to make sure I have light above and below because I need to include the shoulder and the elbow a little bit beyond. If it goes off, it's okay. This is one of the rare images that you can go off the edge of the image receptor. This and tip fib, okay? So that's what I want. There, his arm's there. I'm in the center. I'm angled to his arm. I've got an inch on this side, I'm not clipping on that side, that's it, okay? Now, for learning's sake, we're switching sides. I'm gonna have you turn around. I want you to put this hand on your tummy, palm up. I want you to set this part of your arm against the board. Turn. There you go. Okay, and then I want you to step away from me just a little. Okay, now I have his arm in the middle of the board. It's a little lower. See how much we have here to here? I can either pull his arm out this way a little, which would be okay, but I probably want to go down. Some people you need to go down a little bit on, some people you don't. All depends on the person. If I've moved my Bucky, I want to straighten my tube, bring it down that little bit, and then re-angle it for his arm. Okay, I'm gonna scooch over a little bit more. Take a little step.
There's a lot of steps.
It is. It is. Okay, make sure you don't clip the shoulder and you don't clip the elbow. And then you can just add that in there. There's his shoulder. His humerus stops there. So I'm good right there. Did you ever have an AC separation?
No, I didn't.
It almost feels like it, huh?
Wait, what is that?
Or you're, a little separation right here. You never had a shoulder injury?
I don't think I did.
He's just a mutant.
Okay. You guys are a mutant. Okay, so see how I'm still centered to his arm right here? And there's the center of his arm right there. So, okay, makes sense?
You went to what? From his elbow to
We
his?
want to include the shoulder.
The shoulder, okay.
And the elbow, because we have to include both joints on any long bone. Okay, so like a clavicle, we have to include the out here and sternum. Okay?
So anytime we're doing a long bone, always
Anytime. Always include both joints, proximal and distal. Right? So we want to make sure the elbow's not clipped, and we want to make sure the shoulder's not clipped. Okay? Make sense?
How far up his shoulder though? Because it looks like some of it is clipped.
His shoulder, the humerus technically ends there. So as long as I have a little bit of the shoulder, I'm happy.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then we're not clipping the elbow. This is the biggest. They'll go, oh, I have plenty of room up here, and they'll collimate down. And then I'm like, but you just cut the elbow off. So we want to make sure we have some space at the bottom. Okay. Very rare you're gonna get somebody who's too long for that. You can turn around, sweetie. Okay. Very rare. This is gonna be somebody who's really, really tall. Okay. And if that's so, you just do one up high and one down low. But all of you guys will fit. Okay, I'm talking like somebody who's like 7 foot tall. Okay? Alright. Alright, you wanna see that?
Yeah.
Alright, let me borrow you. Alright. Just for the humorous part. Alright. Alright, turn away from me just a little bit. Alright. I wanna measure from here to here. Find the middle. And that's about the level I want her to be here. I turn you a little bit right there. And I want that level for her arm right about there. I'm gonna bring this down to make sure that I'm lined up. Oh, I'm actually gonna go up a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna bring her arm out this way. Relax, out, relax, relax. Okay. I'm gonna gently feel her condyles. Make sure that she's parallel. See how I have to almost turn her hand in? I want them parallel, so her elbow is parallel with the IR. Then I'm going to turn this to shape of her arm and I'm going to move her away from me a little bit. Step back. Step back. There you go. Now see how this is on her arm here? I want that on her arm. She's a woman, so breast is going to get in the way. We don't say anything about it. Don't do anything about it. Don't tell them to grab their boob and pull it over. Just go with it, okay? It'll show. Now we have some light beyond her elbow. We have some light above her shoulder. That's all we need, okay? And we have at least an inch on this side. Now we're going to turn her around. We're going to be like, oh, we have to turn you around, but now we're going to switch sides because it's easier to see on this side. We're going to say, put this part against the board, please. Okay. Now I know she's way over here, so I'm going to have to take a step forward that way. Good. And kind of lean in a little bit. There you go. Her epicondyles are now perpendicular to the board. That's what I want to see there. I'm just going to adjust this so now it's in line with her arm. I'm I'm gonna move her over a little bit more so I'm actually centered to her arm. I have light above her shoulder and light below. That's it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I know you couldn't see it at
Yeah,
all.
I couldn't.
Alright, go ahead and relax. Alright, your turn.